The live stream, please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me, and let's give this live. Trump is the Antichrist, the devil. There's a viral clip going around that Trump intends to use the United States military against Americans, citizens. Kamala Harris warned in a viral resurfaced clip, a video from the 2024 presidential campaign is circulating again in early 2026, drawing fresh attentions to comments former Vice President Kamala Harris made about then candidate Donald Trump, Reddit on using the U.S. military response to domesticate opponents he described as the enemy within. In a clip filmed during a campaign rally, Harris warned that Trump language suggests he was willing to direct military force at American base on political disagreements, she says. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against Americans, citizens who simply disagree with him. Now, people who call, quote, the enemy within America, this is not a candidate for president who's thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievances, and out for unchecked powers. Harris says Trump approach as part of a long pattern of fear-based politics and contrasts it with what she described as core America idea, pointing to the facts that our democracy doesn't require us to agree on everything. In fact, we like good arguments from time to time. The fact that someone disagrees with us does not make them the enemy within. There are family, neighbors, classmates, co-workers, they are fellow Americans. And as Americans, we rise and fall together. She argued that the nation had been struck in a cycle of distrust for too long and urged supporters to move away from blame and towards this conflict that we see. Now, we see when it comes to the days of trouble, we see the days are at hand. And when the days of trouble has now come to us, see, the God is here, and the God who is the real owner of the heavens and earth. Now, Allah God created for himself a heaven, and then he let it out to these forged and right race you see, for them to enjoy themselves in it for a while. They have proved unworthy of such glorious creations. And now the God who is the owner of this heaven and earth is ready to take over and rule it for himself. Never no more will the earth and nor the heavens earth be let out to these non-owners. It is a great wisdom taught to us, and let new creatures, white race, try their knowledge of mastering that, which they was not made to master, which we knew when we made them, that they would not be able to master the original creation for long. For as long as we, the people, are the planet, there is no new creatures that could be put in order for ruling, that which we already have, and we are in it. It is such a wise piece of work that has been done, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the original, of this creation is just. There is no comparison anywhere to make. There is no such thing that the originators can put the planet aside out of the hole and let someone else take over. This race, we see, the right race, have not been successful and ruling according to their will and according to their real owner. For the right race have to use the originator materials that himself has created. There is nothing of which the white man can call himself the creator. So therefore, since the white man continued to make this trouble, which by nature he was made to do, see, we do not see any way out of trying to live with the white man in peace. The nature of the white man is ever causing unrest among himself and amongst us too. The white man just cannot make peace for himself because we see of his nature today. Today, God had decided that we, the black people, cannot get along with the white man in peace, and that the white man must be removed. The white race wants to remove us, the black people, but in order for this white man to remove us, the black man, the white man will have to move the whole entire heaven and to make the heaven abode anything like life. And then from abode, we'll have to start life all over again. For life in the universe is life that we, the black people, have established it. Therefore, to get away from our own life, which was created by the black man so that a new life could come in, we will have to rid the space of life which belonged to us, the black man. And when the space was rid of life that the black people had created, see, another one will have to create a life of its own making. We, the poor black people here in America, must be changed into a new and different people altogether. So God has came to destroy white America. To whom praise are due, but not a complete make of us. We will be renewed from what we are in now. We call it a new thing. There will come a day when we, the black people, will have complete new thing from man earth, the heaven above us. But according to the scientists, see, God will cause this to go into a new thing. And that is complete destruction of the old, where there is no root to grow something from, not at this time. The thing that God would like to do now, and he will do, is to destroy the work of the devil, as the devil would like to destroy God's work, which God has created. The devil cannot destroy God's creation, because the devil had no part in the creation of that first creation. And since this devil has no part in the first creation, this makes the devil unable to lay hold to the power that will destroy the first work of God. Now, the main thing which I keep mentioning enough to make you discuss is something for the black man in America who has spent his life long and sleeping in ignorancy of the knowledge of that which he is in. But as soon as this black man can awaken to the knowledge of this that he's in, he can lay hold to that which he did not have knowledge of, which is that the black man is the creator of this first creation. Allah God wants to put this black man back into power. And the way the black man can be put back into power is Allah has to make the black man all over again to master power, after giving the black man the authorities. Look at the poor, once pitiful black man in America. Look how he strives to reach for himself. Now he is making a fast progress in that which God leads for him to understand. The black man conversation has changed. The black man way of thinking has changed. His actual physical form is changed. It is a great thing that comes to this black man in America. The black man in America is getting happier and happier. It's not hard for this black man in America to get rich. When we're getting rich from his own wisdom. See, no one have given us anything. And as the Bible teaches you of the son, see, no one gave it to him, but he's getting rich so fast that God chose the son to become the head of the house that he has to stray away from. The future of this black man is so beautiful that we can hardly comprehend it. The biggest thing that's there before us is qualification and readiness. Let us get qualified to master the house that God has given to us before someone tried to rob us of that master in the house. If they rob us of the master in the house, I'm sorry for us. I said to you, my black brothers and black sisters, do not be foolish. The kingdom of heaven will be given to you and to me. Have patience to receive it. But to get the house into our service, it's like a mother giving birth to a baby. The baby must mature into that which he is in, as the baby mature in the womb of the mother in order to be born. So the black man must mature to be born into a new world, that the black man must build himself. See, these are the days of trouble. And with the end of the rule of this right race over the black people of earth, in sight, face to face, we have to deal with each other according to the actual facts which exists between the two nations, black and white. With the nature and desire of this right race to continue their rule and suggestion of the darker people, even though the white man recognized these facts, he will continue trying to hold on into his rule. His suggestion, his thinking, what he has inquired under such rule, that which is his, and he cannot give up the prey, concessions, the merchandise, which he has split out from under the nose and eyes, the real owners, black men. He is willing to shed the blood of his own people, and of that others to hold into that which he called his legal possessions. Spirit arose, and the black man says no, that the continent and what is on and under its surface belong to him and his people, black nation. This spirit and knowledge is now not only confined to Africa and Asia, the black, brown, and yellow people, but it actually is now arising an American so-called Negro, the true lost and found brothers of the black man throughout the earth, whether it be Africa or Asia. He is the brothers of them all. It is desire of the right race to continue to hold power and authorities over black Africa, whether it is or elsewhere. See, they'll just have to give it up. We see England, Germany, and Italy, and France, especially England and France, and Stellarton, Germany, seems to be diehards. To the white man will be acting wisely if they realize that one day, sooner or later, they must pack up and leave. Wherefore, I quote, the Bible prophesies concerning the separation of nations, again today as it was before. Every man must go to his own. This is the clearest and most direct justice that God and man could agree upon. So the white man cannot live in luxury unless he has this black man his place of possession and suggestion to his will. But as I repeatedly says in this paper and all of my writings, you cannot make God and his prophet liars, nor can we reverse the time of the prediction in which these things we see would take place. So the time have come. See, this is nothing but justice, that we have possession of what is our own. So the white man is conscious of the fact that he had deceived the black man of the knowledge of the black man and his possession. But that particular authority was given divinely temporarily. But by the same divinity, it is now being taken from the white race. So the white man is facing doom because she will not act according to justice and righteousness, which was not by nature put in her. But this is known. And her race, we see, is frightened concerning her future, as we see here in America. The white man recognized this coming doom, and many of them rather die here than go elsewhere outside of America to try to defend what they call their own independent sovereignty. Some have poured gasoline over themselves, committed suicide by setting themselves on fire. This is a very new, we see, an open act of a people who want every other people, black, brown, yellow, red, on earth, to fight their wars and say their independence. A ruthless and brutal people like America, England, and Germany should be ashamed in this modern time. Look for these people whom they have robbed, killed, murdered, brought by force, to think that today they should be so soundly asleep that they ignore the time and authority that they can unite as Europeans have been doing against black, Africa, and brown and yellow Asia. You see, the God, if he had got a good smell of this modern wicked field, he can compare the smell with a wildflower. So as the book says to this white man, as thou hast done, so shall it be done to you. In Luke 6:31, the word of God says, do to others as you want them to do to you. Now, the white man must return to Europe and concentrate on that continent for his future, or else concentrate on his death instead of his life, for they can no longer rule the black man. The black man now knows where his home is, and he is now rising up to take possession of that which is his. America's doom, fear. Allah and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, for finding an office to sit us in heaven at once. Our submission to him entirely. We fear this doom of America that is now cutting her to pieces. Prophecy teach us that her doom will come in one day. You see, death, mourning, came in one day. One day means 1 year. Even after that, she should be burned with fire. Divine prophecy that America will suffer isolation from the nations of the earth. The Revelation of John of the Bible prophesies of America's doom. See, America is spoken of under the savage name we see, a beast and dragon will oppose the messenger of God and all those who seeks to follow him. Beast, dragon are the names used to represent America because of the nature and the characteristics of these people, evil and haters of his black one slaves. The dragon, the beast trolls the woman, seeking to destroy the messengers and his followers. The new convert. To the messenger of Allah is referred to as the woman with a newborn baby, with a victorious beast-like enemy trailing her, the messenger of God everywhere that he goes. The beast does this to prevent the messengers and his followers from making progress and making friends with his own black people, who will help the messengers to convert and unite his black people, not only the United States of America, but the whole world of the black nations. To unite and fly out of our enemies who seeks to destroy and kill you and me, night and day, does not just mean leaving white America, but it means also to lead the ideologically all that white America represents. And the nation Europe and Asia still far away off for fear of a burning USA, for fear of a divine plague. To you, my black people, the end is now. Who said that you are going any place? We see heaven and hell are both a condition of life. They are not places. See, the devil make hell for you. And God, in the person of Master Fly Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, makes heaven for you and me. We see the ultimate aim of this world should be known to everyone, especially the righteous. We are classified, the righteous, as being the people who belong to the right God, the God of righteousness, truth, freedom, justice, and equality, and the nation of righteousness. Today, the so-called American Negro must be resurrected and made to know and understand the faint that anyone will follow or be deceived by the arch deceivers. The strongest and most powerful weapons the arch deceiver have at their disposal is to deceive the world of righteousness, the nation of Islam. They do not stop at the common ignorant Muslims, but reach also for the scholars and scientists of Islam, who should be aware of their trickery and deceits. We are in a world that's passing out of existence, and she is putting up a fight war to destroy the nation of righteousness. Be aware to try to oppose success of Allah's truth only hastens the doom of falsehood and its teachers. The world of evil makes its first attack on the world of righteousness, thereby clearly showing herself as being the enemy of righteousness. When she thinks she has built up a strong enough force to attack the righteous, she does so, which I have said before, hasten her own doom. Falsehood cannot be victorious over the truth. And the days of truth. The resurrection is a day of truth. The resurrection is a day of truth as a trumpet over falsehood. The arch deceivers force war against themselves. Ultimate aim is to do as the people always have done. They try to destroy the preachers of truth and those who believe and follow him. This was the aim of Cain when he slayed his brother Abel, and the aim of the dragon when he sought to destroy the woman, the messenger, as it is written, Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. The lost found members of that nation should be taught to know the ultimate of this world. See, God had visited them and had prepared a teacher and myself to teach them, thereby making it easy for them to understand, recognize this world, and the secret ultimate aim. It is even given in the Bible, we see, Revelation chapter 12, 9. There it speaks of the members belonging to the righteous nation, and show that through the seats, see, Satan calls them to become as himself against the truth, peace, justice, safety, security. One will enjoy if he only was not deceived. Under the seats, the weak-minded, who have no understanding or knowledge, of the art deceivers. The devil, Satan, are made prey in the hands of the art deceiver. This will bring about war, as a showdown between the God of righteousness and the God of unrighteousness, the devil, that already had begun. See, God must fulfill his promise to show himself as God over all the power of heaven and earth, and man on earth, as it is written, Thessalonians chapter 2, 9. He comes after working of Satan. See, Satan had been given the power, knowledge, and authority to deceive as many as he could before the purency of God, or the universal manifestations of the presence of God. He was given this power in the beginning according to chapter 2, 7 of the Holy Quran, and according to the Bible, Genesis 1:26, Revelation 6, 4 and 8, and Revelation 12, 3 and 4. See, we have known all our life that the devil was a great deceiver, enemy of God, and that he wished to be the victors with his knowledge of superior art and deceiving the people of God. He desired to cast them down, disgrace them, and make them accept his deceits before the very face of God and the general resurrection of the dead. The so-called American nigger, as I had repeatedly taught in my article, sermons, and lecture to my people, are spiritually dead. They have been touched and paralyzed to death by the art deceivers through his missionary teachings, his literature, his personal conversation, and by accepting his advice. God has given to me a very strong truth that will defend, protect, and prevent you from falling victims to the art deceivers. Read these and treasure them. They are your life. Now ignore them. It is your death. Now we must not forget how we are warned by prophecy for 100 years and for 1,000 years that the end must come to this world. The ruler of this world must be removed, and a crown must be taken off and placed upon another head, and there will rule in justice and righteousness. The power of this world has now become so wicked and so fearful of the consequences of their own rule. So we see when it comes to the people of this world have become so wicked and so fearful of the consequences of their own rule until the almost thoughtless vision is gone and the fearfulness has taken hold of the people. We see the heads is going to unfold to the nation of the earth to find a way of peace between the heads of nation. We see a great time, a troublesome time, a terrible time. The hearts of the people are beginning to weaken and to fail because of what is going on and what they see is coming. America and her people have lived so rich, we see, and so joyfully in this wickedness, murder, robbery, hatred of one another, until it has hardened their hearts so much that they are made to think that they can make friends and live on with those upon whom they have no mercy. They crushed all the weak nations of earth with their powers and brought them to the clutches of slavery. They forced other nations to bow. They pushed their borders around the earth as the king did in his day and time. But in those days, the king boasts, see, just think this over. England made that same boast. We see England used to boast that the sun did not set on her empire. Take a look at England today. There is no British empire for the sun or moon to set on. This morning, May 30, 1972, we see the radio news announcer says that they found mines in the Chicago River. Just make it all together more frightening. For if the mine should blow a ship up in its city limits, it will be dangerous to the life of the people. Just think over this. We see the Chicago River runs through the downtown sections of Chicago, Illinois. No one wants to frighten the people more. But the frightening of the people sometimes does good. We see these great days. We see these terrible days. People are just being shot down on the streets and right in their homes or while walking the streets. They are blown down as though their life are nothing. The great days, the terrible days. American people have been here, according to history, since a few years after Columbus, the explorers. She conquered the Red Indians, the original owners of the land, who she found here and took it for a home for herself and kind. She has continued conquering until her conquering powers that go on around the earth, affecting every civilized nation, submission to her will. She was successful in forcing other people to bow to her will, whether they like it or not. Now is the hands of God, which is after white America, to force her to submission, a hand for which we have no defense, as it is written and prophesied in the Bible we see under the name of Babylon. And Jeremiah 51:25, behold, I'm against you, O destroying mountain, to the Lord which destroyed all the earth. I will stretch out my hands upon you and roll you down from the rock and make you a burnt mountain. Jeremiah 51:53 says, though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she shall fortify the heights of her strength, yet for me shall spoils come into her, said the Lord. America is under destruction, we see, similar to that of ancient Babylon. In the Bible, Jeremiah and Isaiah, Revelation and John prophesied concerning her. Babylon, they're mentioned, is a future Babylon. And that Babylon of the past. We see America enslaved all of the so-called, and their evil mistreatment of them is similar to ancient Babylon, enslavement and mistreatment of the Jews according to the scripture. It took the hands of God to bring the kings of Babylon and his people into submission to the power of God. He brought the surrounding kings and their powers against ancient Babylon and their prime, the heights of her glory, the handwritings on the walls, the casting it down, and his followers into the furious furnace, making drunk the people of God with a strong wine, and then mocking them. So has white America done to the so-called Negro. America makes them drunk with wine, whiskey, and beer and then laugh at him. She put him into the fierce furnace, burned him at the stakes while sitting around with her family drinking intoxicant drinks, laughing at the burning flesh of God's people. There is no justice whatsoever, as Revelation gives it. She made all the world drink of the wine of her fornication. But the end is coming to such evil doing. America lived in peace so far, we see, as forging war is concerned. She had destroyed other people in their towns and cities. She had leveled them to the ground, and she still prepared to do the same with her great stockpiles. She says she has enough bombs and destructive weapons to destroy all human beings on the face of the earth 3 times. Still has some left. Of this, she boasts. But Allah God has said to me that he will destroy America and will bring her into her knees and humiliation. The destruction sent to ancient Babylon, recorded in the Bible, is the answer to most of what he has said to me will come upon the now rich America. We see rain, hail, snow, earthquakes. These weapons belong to God. America, how do you fight an army like this? Now, Job prophesies 38, 22, and 23. Have you entered into the treasure of snow? They never seen snow before. They never seen this stormy winter season. Too much snow, you see, will destroy life. Too much snow, you see, will flood cities. And snow is one of the weapons you see he's using today. Now, the aforementioned weapons of Allah God cannot be ignored. The whole year you are witnessing have been a year thou far of Allah God pledging America day and night with these storms, flood, rain, killing, and destroying properties. And now we see the coming winter. Hail have been falling. In some places we see the size of golf balls, baseballs, and footballs. The rain continued to fall in places, and a dreadful snow blizzard is now in the working. A cold wind we see is blowing into the north to come against America. As it is written, we see and prophesies in Job 38, 23. Have you entered into the treasure of the snow? Or have you seen the treasure of hell, which I have reserved against this time of trouble, against this day of battle and war? Earthquakes are now again to be recognized, touch America lightly, but nevertheless, they are here. And with all of her wealth and preaching of this Christianity, she has not been a good Christian herself. As Jeremiah says, arise, get you up into the wealthy nations that dwelt without care, said the Lord, which had neither gates nor bars, which dwelt alone. This court responds to America. She lists situated between the two greatest bodies of water of the earth, the Atlantic and the Pacific. She is very careless. She rejoices in her evil and filth as though she is self-protected from the divine hands of God. Jeremiah 51:33 prophesies, behold, I'm against you, said the Lord, God of hosts. for your days has come. Time thou visit you. Allah God is visiting America with great destruction, which he had to pour upon this wicked America. After the mistreatment of the so-called Negro for 400 years, she desired now to deceive them and to cause them to suffer with her and to share her doom. You see, in Jeremiah 50, verse 6, my people have been lost sheep. The shepherd had caused them to go astray. And the white and black preachers of this Christianity had turned them away on a mountain and had gone from mountains to hills. They have forgotten the resting place, their native people and country. So we see when it comes to white America and the black preachers of this Christianity had turned away on the mountain. See, these mega churches had turned you away from the truth. You see, American religion is such, a disgrace. You got all this, religious of faith. And you got all these churches. And see, if he's not the author of confusion, See, the God we serve don't dwell in temples made with human hands. So they got all these mega churches. And you got black preachers of Christianity had turned you away on a mountain. They had gone from a mountain to hills and forgotten their resting place. See, in Jeremiah 50, verse 7, all that have found them has devoured it. And the adversary says, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the inhabitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. And since the white man had made the so-called Negro as wicked a person as himself, now these are the words that he speaks. They are just as evil as we. So therefore Allah guides against them too. So-called Negro repeat the same and says this white man is no worse than so-called Negro. The white man had opened all his doors of avenues of temptation to lure the Negro in for total destruction. Again, we have a warning to lead a people with whom God is angry today, as the people of ancient Babylon was warned to do. In Jeremiah 51:45, my people go out of the midst of her and deliver every man his soul for the fierce anger of the Lord. And all of the pledge, destruction, and judgment which Allah God used to destroy this wicked and disobedient from the time of Adam until the day will be brought upon America, and she will be burned with fire. This is a time of trouble that shall bring America into insanity. We see the dreadful times of America. America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted by Moses and the prophet between him and Jesus. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, there's a prophecy made by Jesus of the prophet time, of this present time of America, without mentioning her name. It referred to this country as a world, because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name America is not yet 500 years old, so the prophet refers to it as a wilderness in their prophecy. It is terrific I use the word terrible because it is not a thing that can be described as something mild or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America has reached a stage about which she has always been warned. She always had wanted to keep a secret because of her so-called Negro slave. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving, mistreating her slave. She had reared them for the past 400 years, and she knows them. And she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. And she knows to fear her. And she knows the slave, but the slave do not know America, their slave masters. The great, dreadful, and awful day doom is now in the doors and windows of America, and of their church, the religion of America. See, as long as Christianity worked, we see America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving and upright misleading religions of the world. Allah God taught me that carefully examine everything in this religion of Christianity designed to make slaves out of black people. If Christianity was a red rag and wrung out, every drop were right. Slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb, American, so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason with me. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation. It is now truth of self and kind are the enemy of self. There will not be an end to the Caucasus between white and black in America and throughout the world until wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed there, and righteousness and justice are practiced there. This is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He is to free the black man, the American so-called, from his deceitful, evil, and murderous enemies. America wished to oppose God and his work of bringing justice and freedom to our one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. Allah wants America to attack him to get the fight started, to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. America is bringing about the political gloom. Here, politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. The plan of deceiving the so-called Negro politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation, that Allah God has brought to them is making the so-called Negro in high office become the enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth of their starvation. And they are happy, and their boss know that they are, to have a place near him in such office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messenger and freeing the poor black man who is in the mud. It's causing the political confusion and complete destruction of the house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of God that the American governments agree on the separation of a one slave and their master. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth, we can go on. We do not want to be slave anymore to white people. We do not want to be free Uncle Tom for white people. We do not want to be white man bootlickers. We don't want to be pacified around. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America with her blind, deaf, dumb politician class of the so-called will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with their doom that's coming against them. It is not 20 years in the future, nor 15 years. See, let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors now. The dreadful pledge and confusion of America are beginning to boil. And a few making it boil will not freeze until it boils down to the last of the dregs. The present promise of a better future that America is making to the so-called will prove to be false. And all of her false promises to the American so-called nickel will be short lives by both, because the time of her doom has approached. America will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back, a fascinating show attempting the Negro to filth and evil will not work. It takes justice to work to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost the war. Friendship is speeding her doom. The lube before the storm, my brothers and sisters, I'm afraid for you that you will receive what the people before you did receive. Allah God is very angry with white America and the trichology that she used on the dead to keep them dead. You are very disappointed to Allah God and to the original black man who knows himself, a very few of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is put on is at hand. We must remember Daniel prophecy that at the end of the war, desolation are determined. Before this happened, our God will bless the people with a good time, as he did the people of the past, who wronged themselves, and who did not pay attention to the prophet warning amongst them. Allah God destroys them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time with a show of great prosperity, and at the heights of their great prosperity, suddenly he destroys them. This is a merciful law that Allah has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. America is going to do the same. America will rally and people will think that she is going to have a great future. Then the end will come in that kind of time. America end will not come while she is going around with her head hanging down and with her heart itching and failing because of the things that are coming on her nations. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. The stock markets are going up and lots of shares being sold. Does make any man think that everything is all right? But this is only the lube before the storm. And the Bible warns America what happened before. Ancient Babylon enjoyed it a full ruling position at her time. But King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth, drunkenness, her laughing at the slave that she had made of Israel. King Darius came with his army and overcame sleeping guards who were sleeping on security of their life. Now the Bible prophesies that the enemy will say, "Come, let us go up and destroy her whose city is not fenced in." And they may come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising in the morning or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, they will come at a time that you thought not. After the war, and to the end of the war, desolation are determined, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. The Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know that that which will be poured means it is you, America. If you ever get back into power, again to attack nations of this earth. See, Europe will become one of the worst war areas on the world, more dreadful than Vietnam and other places that you are planning on going into. Asia will look like child play compared to what is going to happen in Europe. The prophet says, whom to the land that shallow it rings. This means America, whose skies is filled with planes. We see most or all of the judgment and trouble, which are pointed at in the Bible, are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. America, right up today, with all of her battles and with her outside enemies, never loses sights and inside of a poor old black slave. She does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived in. She does not want him to accept the starvation that Allah God's offering the black one slave here in America. Allah God's offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he has proven to me that believe in Allah God and follow me. I'm the door, and by no means can you get by except you come by me. Your prayers will not be heard unless your name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through to Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see it. Certify that those who know this will bear me witness. I have the keys to your salvation. I have the keys to your hell. I can if you would just let me pull you out of this hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven, or I can keep pushing and push you into the punishment of hell until you acknowledge that there is no God but God. And that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. The only way is through me, is through Allah God. Me first, for you cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. See, the lube before the storm. See, America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. See, America makes promises to you. She makes promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. Some of America financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it comes time to do so, they vanish. The same day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It's entirely up to them to make good this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves, as the Bible says. The Gentiles shall come to the light of your rising. America wants to destroy God and me, and she wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. See, America lift up all my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. See, look what she had done for Malcolm. See, America named universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. See, Malcolm turned from Allah, God, and me, started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that disobey Allah, God, and myself, and come to them. See how they are doing. See, everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah, God, and me. America raised him up for you to follow. America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people. He only lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. Malcolm was a double crosser. He tried to get to me with the help, as it is written and prophesied, that he will do. His name is not written there. A name of Muhammad. In history, another name is used, but his work is there. And in history, of hypocrites, a life of Muhammad. Try to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. You find this in the writing of Washington Irving, and even some scientist writers of Islam. They can tell you Malcolm history. Now, we see the enemy fools you. See, he didn't like Malcolm. But with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me, but he was not able to change it. And even if the enemy would glorify them, it would come to nothing. For the time as ruling power over black people is up. The same they did with our brother, Martin Luther King. They gave him 50,000, Peace Prize. And then they set him up. And Martin Luther King says it's best that, the black man shared their blood. Now, this was evidence that where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, if Martin Luther King stayed in my corner, he would have survived. And he went into the Coliseum, and see, he knew the birth records of the white man. But he was in fear of his enemy. And ever since when Dr. Martin Luther King had the dream during the night of the filibuster, he says that they would deny black and brown voting rights. And this is what they have done. 1776. They wrote their independency. They wrote their Declaration of Constitution, law. See, they didn't write in for you and I. Now, what chance do we have? See, we live under the shadow of death. See, even babies murder. And see, when it comes to a right race of people, they are agreeing to come with a law to have your babies killed. Now, you might say, what are they doing that for? Because he brings out this unformed story that is starting to be too many of you. Pharaoh had that same idea. When Pharaoh was a hard taskmaster, and there was a great multitude of people. He said, we'll kill every firstborn. We'll slaughter them and let the women folks live. And see, you seen the people was crying to get released. And through the Spirit of God, by a pillar of fire and pillar of cloud, there was the Spirit of God to direct them. And you see, however, they end up in some places that they didn't like. So you see, they mumble and complain against God and told Moses, I wonder why God just didn't leave us down here in Egypt. But you just complained just to get released from Egypt. See, the white man, the only thing he gives you is a room and board while you begging on your knees. See, we got to take the responsibility to care for our own. Because I say this, when it comes for a poor man, Lazarus, no one came to assist the poor man. See, no one came to aid him. So what if we get 7 million of us storm to the Capitol? And we get the other 10 million to remain. See, that 7 million that will storm to the Capitol will risk their life, to pour their life for this freedom, justice, and equality. Now, I want to say this because the enemy fools you. And we know the enemy did not like Malcolm. And we know the government was involved in Malcolm's death. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me. But he was not able to change. See, there was a conflict between Malcolm and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And even if the enemy would glorify them, they'll come to nothing. The time as ruling power over black people is up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. See, they set up worship for all hypocrites against me. Now, suppose we'll worship China and Russia against them, but we do not worship them. For Allah God is most significant and more significant in all nations. So Allah God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. They cannot win against Allah God. The more you fight against Allah God, the more you lose yourself. From the Bible and from this chapter and from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you by making you to fall hypocrites, it is your doom. See, just watch it. He trails me. He goes down to Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going or where I have been. This is written. I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do, nor should he fault me for what by nature I am. But I fault you if you let this little transgression of this life, an enemy, deceive you of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and place to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nation of earth. Would you rather give your money over to white America and let them spend it on what they want to, and they pay you a little interest? We offer interest too, the highest of interest, but you do not trust us. So we were built right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It was prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. And my work that was prophesied to me before I was born, you see it today. Now try and find a successful one who is working in opposition to me. None of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress, not him, nor 7 times his number, as long as I'm with Allah God, and he is with me. And that will be all the days of my life. Fire fed with fuel. The subject of this chapter is taken from this holy Quran. Surah 85, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war. That will serve as a fuel to a fire. Fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burning fire is increased, the more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace, so that they can return to committing that which they lack. Love, idling, sport, and play. The world that we live and desire, first of all, to hide the truth, to keep this black man who is made blind, deaf, and done by the scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that this right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness. that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace when the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war, instead of finding a right solution and then practicing the right solution? I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. And what they would like to do cannot be done. For the time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the prediction of the Bible. It had foretold these times. If we understand the Bible, it must attain teach us that there is no peace for this wicked. And there are no people who preach such a thing as peace. And as being true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the white Christians do. Day and night, we see the airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the words of Jesus put it. They sat at Moses' seat. The white Christians are great deceivers. We see the Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to this Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah, that he would extend peace to them like rivers? Surely it cannot be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. Fire fed with feud. Leave your own home and country. See, go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people, and then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which follows the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. So you are not living in a time in which you may be expecting a settlement of war that will give you what you have already been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled with the fleets of the right Christians and the sky crowded with their death-dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or to destroy them, then I say yes. If that was the situation, then I would say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. What I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century and obtain attackers the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the President of the United States of America have good intentions towards citizens of America when he took over the presidency. But the time is against him. For the past 4,000 years or more, Allah God has always given a prophecy to the mouth of his prophets of the doom of this wicked. Now is the time, and we cannot do anything but take it. Is it dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire? We see the fire is the war. Now, how true the prophecy, Jesus says that man's heart will be filling and fear. The prophecy Jesus and Luke 21, 25, 26 concerning the present time. We bear witness that the seas and waves are warning, and that fear is now covered the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that is now occurring amongst man. These are the signs of the end of the present world. The seas and ocean are heaving up, tidal waves to an unimaginable height that man has never witnessed before on earth. This is another pledge that's upon the wicked. Since this Holy Quran teaches that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act, as though revelation had been revealed to it, because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world of evil. The right race thinks that they have control of the power of the earth, sea, and air. It was prophesied that for a time they would subdue and have the use of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes, who right it is to rule. The heaven and earth belongs to Allah God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecy concerning the terribleness of the judgment of the wicked. The power that is in the water is in the hands of Allah God to use it against whom he pleases. The earth, wind, rain, snow, and earthquakes, and ice are used and controlled by Allah God. It is a fearful sight to see the display of this power, the force of nature, bowing and submitting to his will. I should warn you that this is now coming into action against the Western world. There will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas. Those which are capable of lying on the ocean, sea bottom will be destroyed. The die is set with a foolish people who, like in the time of Noah, could not see the signs of the rain bringing on the flood. Even after the cloud began to darken the sky, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with white America. They pay no attention to the sign of the judgment that is taking place. As the Bible prophesies in Revelation 16:9, they blaspheme the name of God. It has power over these pledges. Now, how many in America and the city of Chicago disbelieve, even mock and swear in the name of Allah God, who has power over the force of nature on land, sea, and air? Allah God is now doing as is prophesied the Holy Quran, Surah 13:41. We have visited the land, curtain it of its size. The foolish still are foolish until he is cast in that narrow place. It cannot turn to the right or left as it was. But the story with the donkey that Balaam was riding came to a narrow place between two walls. Cannot turn around. You have to stop face to face with the angels or be destroyed. Bible, Numbers 22, 23, and 26. That they remember that Allah God came forth for the redemption to liberate American black people from their tormentors. See, whether we like it or not, he would do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is an effect. Let America use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt and her pharaoh. Let their history serve as a warning. See, there was brought to nothing but evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen, for example, of these last days, the lost, found black slave and their slave masters. The Holy Quran, Surah 30:41, is perfectly true in its prediction of a present day nation, sea, land, power. Corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that which man's hands have made. The most great mistake that this black man is making today is it trying to hold on to the brief eternities, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. Jesus also had a few disciples. See, Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trickology that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people will not understand that he is to clear himself against the world or the Caucasian race. The Bible also declared that the words of truth have no place in these right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by the mistreatment of you and me. The right race had never worshipped any prophets before or after Jesus as divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. That is why they kill all of the prophets that they are able to kill. They deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before this time is out, it will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. If it will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race, Allah God will force them into submission to prove that he is able to make everything bow to him in submission. This is a fulfillment to the prophecy of the Bible, Isaiah 45:23, and to me, every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear. The Bible says, Matthew 25:32, before him shall begat all nations. Holy Quran has the same prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless of their color. See, everything in the universe obey the natural laws at which it was made subject to by Allah God. On the coming of Allah God, he now makes everything bow to him. Will you believe it or disbelieve it? Holy Quran Surah, chapter 382, does not make a difference to him, whether you are the devil or the righteous. We all must bow submission to the will of Allah God on the judgment day. We are now living in a day of judgment. Black preachers, you are wasting your time and leading yourself and those who follow you to hell to hold on to Christianity. Revelation 19:20 cannot keep them in Christianity. Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophet who came before them. It would have been a fierce on the part of Allah God to have waited just until 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to the world, a man. Allah God gives the right religion, Islam, in the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth. Allah God had not changed. The religion is Islam, entire submission to his will. Hell erupt. Why are the nation angry? And who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? In the 18th verse, 11th chapter of the Revelation and the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, and that God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. It's the slaveholders who have been the real cause of a mental death of the people. The Revelation relates to as being deceived of justice. See, God comes to give them justice and to justify them as being equal to the slave masters as human beings. And as you know, from the 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery, an American soul called, they have never been recognized even as human beings. As one devil says, they're only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatment by the devil's slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. This is why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American soul called Negro flew in love with his slave masters and his slave master children because the unlike attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation an enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see that which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable we see of the donkey who plotted upon meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false. Balaam. So, in the resurrection of a mentally dead so-called nickel, they are rising to a knowledge of self. This knowledge make them refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This have angered the slave master as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey to force him, as unusual, to carry and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the black American, to remain with them even now in order to make them members of society is only false recognition of the black Americans. See, this lost and now found people of the black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called nigger had angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil in these modern times. The appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, servants of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work and tried to obstruct and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freedom of Israel by their God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who was also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy have all played it in enslavement of black Africans and black people throughout their Asia and here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western hemisphere. Now their anger is running them mad and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the conduct of hell, Surah 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide every hour of the day in America, Europe, England, America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. They dislike the idea of having allowed dispose of their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is a time of increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slave of America. White America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave to a knowledge of self and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God, Allah, to try to oppose the truth of God preached by the messengers of God. Read the second Psalms. The great commotion. The great commotion of the government and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, noisy confusion. There is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil action. White American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affecting. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, black slave. Allah God, and the person of Master Fly Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power. Is using this power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest, and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He's too powerful. He listens in on our thinking, and he is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed by the nation of the earth. For it is America whom Allah guides after, for mistreatment of the poor so-called lost, found, original black members of the nation. America mistreat and kill her black slave for sport. But America's days is drawing to a close, and she will not have any freedom to mistreat the black slave much longer, as the mistreatment the Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end. So will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America come to an end. America has so blind and made deaf dumb the black man America, her black slaves, that she makes empty promises to the black slave, and he will accept her promises and forsake the true promise of Allah God and the person of Master Fly Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. We will see her oftenest happening at once. The great commotion will continue in America until this commotion has destroyed the power of oppositions. Now, the days of disaster. The title of this chapter is taken from this Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4, the disaster. What is disaster, and what will make you know how terrible things will look? In the English language, according to the Resper dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress, misery caused by major misfortune, or loss, a great event marked a great loss, a lasting distress and affliction. Such disaster is now prevailing in America. We see it getting worse daily. Such disasters now prevail in America. And the third verse of this chapter of Holy Quran Surah 101 verse 3 asks a question and will make you know how terrible things will be. The answer is given in the very fourth verse. The day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this warning of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears. These great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, murder and mass. We see the great amount of raping, murdering girls and women. There is great robbery and thieves going on every hour of the day, we see, right here in America. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs, wondrous signs, being displayed in the heavens, in the earth, and on sea and land. There's unusual behavior of children. There's unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and destruction of the process of childbirth. There is a great disaster of starvation and great destruction of health, of life, by the use of administering of poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What had been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. America is destroying herself in her effort to destroy her black slave. Water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. American scientists and wars conduct dreadful experiments how best to kill human beings by the million and wipe out life of whole continents. These are not the days of fulfillment of prophecy, and not one, but in many disasters. But in all of these preparations of destruction of human life by the devil, Allah God too hath planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people. And the white slaveholders is angry because the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim, Allah God comes to take the black slave away from the enemy, white slaveholders, and join the black slave to his own kind again. The enemy, white slaveholders, hates this, but Allah God has the power to force this enemy, white slaveholders, to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God that enemy, white slaveholders let our people go. Allah God promised concerning these white slaveholders in the Bible, Isaiah 43 verse 6 says, I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my son from afar, and my daughter from the end of the earth, America. Since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth, Allah God has called the black slave who accepted the truth by his name. The black slave who accepted the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nation of his kind belong to Allah God. The books must be fulfilled, wherein it prophesies that he would claim them to be his own elect at such time as destruction of America. For Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people. There will not have been any flesh saved from white America. The Bible we see in Mark 30:20 teach us, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, see, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of this judgment of both the white slave holders and the black slave.